على تشجيع مجتمع الأعمال المصري على الانخراط في التعاون مع مجتمع الأعمال في الدول الأفريقية بما يساهم في تنمية التجارة البينية القارية، حيث أن أهدافنا لتعميق التكامل الاقتصادي تتطلع إلى الحفاظ على البيئة الحالية للتكامل الإقليمي في ظل منطقة التجارة الحرة القارية الأفريقية، والمضي قدما نحو مزيد من التكامل بما يساهم في خدمة مواطنينا ومساعدتهم في تحسين المستويات المعيشية وتطوير القدرات الإنتاجية بما ينعكس على حياة الشعوب بصورة إيجابية لتحقيق الرفاهية والازدهار. السيدات والسادة، اسمحوا لي بأن أنتهز تلك المناسبة لأدعو الأشقاء في القارة الأفريقية ومجتمعي الأعمال الأفريقي والدولي وشركاء التنمية إلى استغلال هذا الحدث الهام لوضع اللبنات الأولى لإطلاق المشروعات والمبادرات التنموية بما في ذلك مشروعات البنية التحتية لمساهمتها المحورية في تحقيق الاندماج القاري والإقليمي وفقاً لإطار يراعي التوازن المطلوب بين طموحنا لبناء قارتنا الأفريقية وبين تطلع شركاء التنمية إلى حوافز وعوائد تفتح آفاقاً أوسع لمزيد من الاستثمارات وتدفق رؤوس الأموال. وفي النهاية فإنني على ثقة بأن الدورة الحالية للمعرض ستخرج بنتائج بناءة لخدمة أهداف التكامل الاقتصادي للقارة، وهو ما سينعكس بالإيجاب على معدلات الأداء الاقتصادي وتحقيق التنمية المستدامة وتحقيق الرفاهية لشعوب الدول الأعضاء. وأؤكد على ترحيبي وترحيب الشعب المصري باستضافة مصر لأعمال الدورة الثالثة لمعرض التجارة البينية الأفريقية، متمنياً لجميع الوفود النجاح والتوفيق ومشاركة متميزة في فعاليات المعرض. شكراً لحسن استماعكم، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
والآن فلنستمتع جميعاً بتجربة ساحرة للهولوجرام برعاية إيكو بانك.
Our enemies are many, and they stand ready to pounce upon and exploit our every weakness. They play upon our vanities and flatter us in every kind of way. They tell us that this particular person or that particular country has greater or more favorable potentialities than the other. They do not tell us that we should unite, that we are all as good as we are able to make ourselves once we are free. We want, therefore, to develop our own community and an African personality. Others may feel that they have evolved the very best way of life, but we are not bound, like slavish imitators, to accept it as our mold. If we find the methods used by others are suitable to our social environment, we shall adopt or adapt them. If we find them unsuitable, we shall reject them. This mid-20th century is Africa's. This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence. To independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
والآن أرجو من فخامة القائد أولوشينغو أوباسانجو رئيس المجلس الاستشاري المعني بمعرض التجارة بين البلدان الأفريقية ورئيس السابق لجمهورية نيجيريا الفيدرالية التفضل بإلقاء كلمته.
My brother, Engineer Ahmed Saleh, the Honorable Minister for Trade and Industry, in the Africa we want, even in the midst of one of the most tumultuous periods in world history, I have the great honor of welcoming you all to the opening of the third edition of the held here in Cairo, Egypt. Your presence is a testament not only to the commitment of Africans to economic integration, but also to our collective determination to create a better today and a prosperous future for our people. Permit me to begin by thanking His Excellency Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, and his government, and the wonderful people of Egypt for extending their warm hospitality to us and ensuring that this event is held successfully. This is the third edition, and twice in 3 times that we have had the trade fair, Egypt has been our host. We appreciate this. Today, we gather here with a common purpose to celebrate the potential of Pan-African trade and harness the boundless opportunities that lie within our continent and beyond. This trade fair signifies not only the commitment of African and diaspora nations to economic integration, but also our collective determination to create a prosperous Africa. Africa, with its vast natural resources, youthful population, and diverse culture, holds remarkable potential. Yet, for far too long, our economies have been reliant on external markets, depriving us of the opportunity to trade and benefit from the wealth that lies within our borders. The time for change has come, and it is now. This trade fair is a bold evidence of our vision of a united African market under the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, an Africa that trades with itself, an Africa determined to break the shackles of economic dependency, and an Africa that has extended its borders to the Caribbean. We believe that intra-African trade holds the key to unlocking our true potential, fueling economic growth, fostering industrialization, and creating job opportunities for our people. Intra-African trade has the power to increase productivity, stimulate innovation, and ultimately improve the quality of life for millions across the continent and diaspora. By bolstering trade among ourselves, we can tap into the knowledge, skills, and resources that exist within our diverse nations, creating a ripple effect of prosperity that will benefit all Africans wherever they may be. This trade fair is not just an exhibition of goods and services, it is a platform for networking, collaboration, and knowledge sharing. It brings together entrepreneurs, innovators, investors, and policymakers from across Africa and the diaspora to exchange ideas, forge partnerships, and explore new opportunities. It is through the spirit of cooperation, solidarity, and collaboration that we will unlock the untapped potential of our continent. As we marvel at the plethora of products, services, and innovations showcased here today, let us remember that each item represents the ingenuity and resilience of African businesses. It is a testament to what we can achieve when we work together, when we leverage our collective strengths and capabilities. During the next 6 days, the fair will present a platform on which buyers and sellers of African-made products will be in very close proximity. Businesses and governments can negotiate deals. Investors can identify potential investment opportunities and projects, and entrepreneurs can identify new markets and customers. In addition to these, the fair will present numerous opportunities to capacity building through master classes and seminars, and also knowledge sharing through talk shows and networking, among others. We encourage all participants to take advantage of the tremendous opportunities presented by this trade fair. But this trade fair is just the beginning. It is a stepping stone towards a future where African nations trade freely, breaking down barriers and opening doors of opportunities for all. It is an invitation to investors and businesses around the world to be a part of this extraordinary journey. I call upon our government leaders, policymakers, representatives to foster an environment conducive to trade by eliminating unnecessary bureaucracy and hurdles, harmonizing regulations, and investing in the necessary infrastructure. By collectively addressing challenges such as transportation, logistics, and connectivity, we can create a seamless trading network that transcends borders and make the continent one huge market. To the entrepreneurs and innovators that are here, I urge you to seize this moment. Let us build bridges of commerce, not just between nations, but also within our own communities. Let us embrace the spirit of entrepreneurship and leverage technology to unlock new markets, to connect small-scale farmers with global partners, and to empower women-owned businesses. 4 years ago, our leaders, our continent, an opportunity to unleash the full potential of African economies and a promise of a brighter future for all Africans. I invite all to explore, connect, collaborate, and, of course, move together. Together, let us usher in a new era of African trade where the barrier of the past are shattered. Let us rise, work, and move together. Thank you.
وختاما وفي نهاية هذه الجلسة الافتتاحية أتمنى لحضراتكم جميعا جلسات ناجحة وخلاقة على مدار جميع أيام المعرض ATF 2023 وطبعا يستكمل هذا اليوم مع فعاليات كانكس. بشكر حضراتكم جميعا، شكرا لكم.
creative. More than just game-changing events such as CanX at IATF and CanX Weekend. CanX is built on key pillars such as capacity building, financing, infrastructure development, and access to markets. Key interventions across these pillars in sectors such as film, fashion, and music have led to some amazing success stories. Let's check out a few. Music is Africa's vocal soul, and the CanX Music Factory, along with the Frexham Bank's bespoke music financing product, are building the framework for the stars of tomorrow. Produced and curated by the superstar Oskido, the CanX Music Factory debuted in CanX at IATF 2021 as an extension of the online Cookout African Collaborative Songwriting Sessions and has culminated with an album set for global release. The global film industry has fast recognized and lauded Africa's prowess to create powerful and compelling content across multiple genres. One such standout success is AAA Entertainment. They secured a lucrative deal with Netflix. CanX financed the facilitation to deliver a slate of 10 films. Additionally, another Frexham Bank financed film, produced by Nigerian star Genevieve Nnaji, has just premiered at the Toronto Film Festival. Putting their best foot forward on the catwalk, CanX Presents Africa has seen over 36 African designers make significant international strides. CanX Presents Africa has taken African fashion to the catwalks and showrooms at both Trenoy and Paris Fashion Week, as well as Portugal Fashion Week. Egyptian jewelry designer Azza Fahmi's work is world-renowned and has been featured on top magazine covers, in blockbuster movies, and worn by some of the biggest global stars. Supported by a Frexham Bank and in partnership with Trace Academia, Azza Fahmi Studios has created a free online course that, to date, has already had over 3,000 participants. Turning the page to literature, CanX is immensely proud to announce the CanX Book Factory and Award for Publishing. This partnership with Narrative Landscape Press is being created with Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka and the multi-award-winning Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. An initial online session will be followed by a year-long program aimed at developing young literary talent from Africa and the diaspora. These exciting success stories are just the beginning. CanX at IATF 2023 will be a catalyst for an even wider range of collaborations, deals, and capacity-building initiatives. With the Frexham Bank partnership with the Basketball Africa League, along with celebrated Creative Africa Advisory Group member Didier Drogba once more gracing the stage, the business of sports will take center stage at this year's event. And to top it all off, the newest and most delicious creative sector, gastronomy, will be launched as part of CanX at IATF 2023. Panel discussions, masterclasses, and of course, cooking demonstrations from some of Africa's master chefs will be on offer. CanX at IATF 2023 is the place to be for deal-making, networking, and learning. But it is also a celebration of the creative spirit of Africa and its diaspora. Fashion shows, movie screenings, concerts, and performances are all part of the magic CanX mix. Frexham Bank welcomes you to this second edition of CanX at IATF 2023. One people, united in culture, creating for the world.
صباح الخير. His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo, former President of Nigeria, Chairman of Advisory Council at IATF, Professor Benedict Orama, Chairman and President of the Board of Directors of Frexham Bank, معالي الوزير السيد أحمد سمير صالح، وزير التجارة والصناعة لجمهورية مصر العربية, His Excellency Ambassador Albert Muchanga, Commissioner for Economic Development, Trade, Tourism, Industry and Minerals, African Union Commission. Mrs. Kanayo Awani, Executive Vice President of Afrexim Bank, members of the Creative Africa Advisory Group, creatives from across Africa, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Creative Africa Nexus Summit at IITF 2023. Following the success of CANX at IITF 2021 and CANX Weekend 2022, we're very excited to host the CANX Summit in Cairo with the theme One People United in Culture, Creating for the World. This theme celebrates the connection of our cultural backgrounds, traditions, and stories. It speaks to the culture, community, sustainability, and innovation that exist in all the products that we create for everyone. Over the coming days, the CANX program will present a very unique lineup of speakers, live masterclasses, fireside chats, and live performances that will inspire you, and they will make you witness this unique fusion of our ideas and the blending of our traditions. Furthermore, we will shed the light over the importance of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area and its huge impact on our creative and cultural landscape. Over the coming days, this platform will serve as an opportunity for communication, collaborations, and convergence of all things creative. بعد نجاح نسخة كانكس في 2021 وكانكس ويكند 2022 سعداء جدا لاستضافة قمة كانكس في القاهرة تحت شعار شعب واحد متحد في الثقافة مبدع من أجل العالم. هذا الشعار يمثل ترابط ثقافتنا وتقاليدنا وحتى حكاياتنا. شعار بيتكلم وبيمثل الحرفية والابتكار والاستدامة المتأصلين في منتجاتنا الإبداعية. خلال الأيام المقبلة سنشهد على اندماج للأفكار ومزج للتقاليد من خلال برنامج كانكس اللي بيقدم مجموعة مهمة جدا من المتحدثين وجلسات الحوار وورش العمل التفاعلية. أيضاً سنسلط الضوء على أهمية اتفاقية التجارة الحرة الأفريقية. هذه المنصة خلال الأيام المقبلة ستكون فرصة للتعاون والتقارب بين المبدعين. To start this year's edition of the CANX Summit, please welcome with me to the CANX stage the award-winning South African Afro-pop duo Mafikizolo.
ngizokutola kuwe. I wanna know. Oh manje sithandwa sami ngizokutola kuwe. Oh manje sithandwa sami ngizokutola kuwe. I wanna know. Oh manje sithandwa sami ngizokutola kuwe. And we go say, I will meet you at the river. I will meet you at the river. Ngizokuthola umlomo emlanjeni sihlangana. I will meet you at the river. I will meet you at the river. Ngizokuthola umlomo emlanjeni sihlangana. I will meet you at the river. I will meet you at the river. Zongthola ngeplome mlanje lesandwasa. La 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 la. One more time. Let's do it one more time. We say, I will meet you at the river. I will meet you at the river. Zongthola ngeplome mlanje lesandwasa. One more time we say, I will meet you at the river. I will meet you at the river. Zongthola ngeplome mlanje lesandwasa. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. We are Mafikizolo all the way from South Africa. Halala, South Africa, halala.
Thank you so much. This is our very first time right here in Cairo, Egypt, and we're having a great time. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for inviting us at IATF 2023. And like my partner already said, this is our first time in the beautiful country of Egypt. We are proudly South Africans, and those who haven't been to South Africa, we encourage you guys to go and visit and do business in South Africa. It's a beautiful country. Let us enjoy the music of Mafikizolo. You can follow us on our social media page. Those who want to, to take us on the trip with them, when they go to different businesses, they can, go with Mafikizolo. Our social media page is Mafikizolo _Africa. Mafikizolo _ Africa. And we are proudly Africans. Let's go, we go. Hey, let's go. Hey, why you say? Why you say? Hey, like a this, like a that, like a this, like a that, like a this, like a that. Let's go, say. Undenza Antonio. Hey, hey, ekutenga la lepsuko. Hey, Westandwa Sami. My baby, I've been thinking about you. Hey, hey, hey. You know that I love you, baby. I'm funny woman, I want you, baby. I go do anything for you. Why you say? Westandwa Sami. My baby, I've been thinking about you. Let's go, say. What is it that you done to me, oh? Hey, Jelo Natabanga. Did you pour me a love potion? Oh, hey, my baby, I can't stop thinking about you. Everybody, let's go, say, Dance Antonio. Baby, I've been thinking about you. Baby, I've been thinking about you. Let's go, YSA, let's do this. Halala, 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 halala. This is how we do it. Let's go, we say. Yo, yo, yo. I see you guys dancing there. Bravo. I see you guys standing there. I see you dancing over there. We're gonna ask you guys to do 1, 2, 3, 1. Put your hands together like this. Ka. What's that? Africa, you there? Africa, yeah.
Napoli tate, Dialifuna, Napoli Puma, Dialifuna, Louis Sele, Louis Sele, Napoli tate, Napoli Puma, Dialifuna, Louis Sele,
Africa, let's go! Are you guys ready to sing along? What you say? Louis said, Napoli tate, Diali funa, Napoli puma. Louis said, Sala sala yeah 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 yeah, Sala sala yeah yeah, Sala sala yeah. Africa, let's go. Guys, are you ready to sing along?
And everybody go.
Napoli, Puma, Louis, and everybody say, Sele, Sele, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sele, Sele, yeah. Sele, Sele, yeah. My fingers are low.
Thank you so much.
Shukran. This is how we say thank you in Egypt. Shukran, Mafiki Zolo. What a great and powerful start to the summit today, right? Yes. They got us really, really excited. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me to the stage a man we've seen so many times on screens. Please give it up to the Hollywood actor Boris Kodjoe.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am tremendously honored to be here with you today. I would like to thank my dear friend, President Benedict Orama, and the entire team at Afrexim Bank for inviting me to attend CANEX here at IATF 2023 in Cairo. First, I need to express my outrage and devastation about the thousands of civilian lives taken not far from here. There's absolutely no justification for kidnapping or killing innocent children. Zero. None. And we must continue to raise our voices until this madness stops. But I am here today because I believe in humanity. I believe in equality and justice and democracy and empathy. And I believe in telling stories that tell the truth. The word story is defined as an account of past events in someone's life or in the evolution of something. An account is a description of an event, a personal experience, always subjective and different for the next person. But what connects us is our humanity. It is supposed to give us peace and love and hope for a better tomorrow, a better story. Since the beginnings of humanity, stories have been manipulated to benefit the oppressor rather than the oppressed. And as a result, the silenced, the marginalized had to be more creative in order to defy stereotypes, break through incorrect narratives, and represent themselves as a way to survive. Books, songs, and film were used as communication tools and became cultural footprints embedded in protest and celebration alike. African culture, with its vast ancestral depth and diversity, has been a celebration in my life since I can remember. Spending time in Ghana as a boy gave me a sense of self that was grounded in the soil of my father's country and fortified by the heritage and his roots. Thousands of years of African roots, shared today by over 1.5 billion people worldwide, have sprouted into cultures that have influenced most societies around the globe. From music and fashion to art and design, from social consciousness to science, business, sports, to film and TV, our creativity has shaped modern life as we know it. It also prompted the Western world to make it a habit to systematically and consistently exploit our creative talent and misappropriate our work throughout history. While Black excellence has been fiercely emulated, Africa itself still suffers from what I call a branding challenge imposed by the outside world. Traditional Western media outlets still too often paint a picture of poverty, famine, civil wars, and mass exodus to Europe, which makes up a large part of public perception of our continent. So when we produced the Full Circle Festival to celebrate the year of return in 2019, and our guests excitedly shared beautiful pictures and videos of their experiences in Ghana via social media, the global impact was immediate and much bigger than we expected. The festival buzz and Instagram posts featuring cultural outings, big concerts, and nightlife snapshots generated hundreds of millions of impressions online, and we realized that an authentic narrative was much more powerful than any manufactured stereotypes. I am here today because I want to double down on that narrative. We live in a world that's getting smaller by the hour with an appetite for culturally specific global content that has never been larger. Studios, networks, promoters, brands are eager to understand diverse audiences and to invest in solutions to reach us because we have the youngest population in the world with the highest connectivity of any continent. We all know that films and TV shows with diverse characters and authentic stories outperform other films across all budget levels by 30%, and that Afrobeats has taken over popular airwaves and streaming service across the entire globe. PricewaterhouseCoopers has projected Africa to produce up to 10% of global creative goods exports by 2030, which would translate into roughly $200 billion, or 4% of the African GDP. But who will benefit from these promising numbers? Who will be able to build a strong, sustainable business as part of an enormous creative industry and as a result generate widespread economic impact across their communities? We have to make sure it's us. We have to start focusing on asset creation on a fundamental basis and control all levels of our content life cycle. We must not give away our voice, donate our name, or sell our likeness for a quick check, but rather stake our claim for equity and ownership. We must recognize that we are a powerful ecosystem of stakeholders, including audiences, creators, distributors, and investors, who can accomplish anything by leveraging our collective. In this new African Continental Free Trade Area environment, it's imperative for us to push for standards and practices that enable us to grow our creative industries here while expanding globally. And by expanding globally, I mean exporting our creative goods and services, not our talent. But we must do it together. Having been divided and conquered for centuries has taught us that we won't make it alone. We won't make it as the only one at the table or the only one in the room. So we have to connect and collaborate with each other, to collaborate with tech and production companies with the goal of optimizing the creative process, with independent distribution arms to explore the most profitable models for our slates of content, with corporate brands to develop ecosystem-focused content strategies across Africa and the diaspora, with financing entities to maximize opportunities of investing in other production companies around the world to create a global footprint, with regulatory bodies to implement tax incentives for international productions so we can build studio spaces and enable creative industries to grow everywhere on the continent, creating jobs and economic opportunities that reach far across other sectors of our communities. We have to connect and collaborate with anyone who wants to talk about intellectual property and how to finally understand it, protect it, and create sustainable assets with it. And as for me, I will continue to do my best to help strengthen the bridge between the diaspora and the continent, because I want to empower our talent, I want to nurture our creativity, and share our stories on our terms and our voice. Thank you.
Thank you, Boris Kojo, for these very important words. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage His Excellency Ambassador Albert Muchanga, Commissioner for Economic Development, Trade, Tourism, Industry and Minerals, African Union Commission.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremony. And since we are in the middle of the discourse, I think I'm going to ride on all the salutations which are made earlier and simply say, respectively, all protocols observed. And I greet each and every one of you in this very happy house. The Commissioner for Health, Humanitarian Affairs and Social Development, Her Excellency Ambassador Minata Samate Sesuma, was supposed to be with you on this occasion. She has been assigned by His Excellency Dr. Musa Faki Mahamat, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, to represent him at a meeting on the humanitarian situation in Gaza. I'm standing in here for her, and I'm glad to do so because we always work as a team. I'll begin by conveying our very sincere gratitude to the people and government of the Arab Republic of Egypt for once more hosting the Intra-African Trade Fair and through it, this CANEX event. Let me also recognize the support which the African Export-Import Bank, under the leadership of Professor Benedict Orama and the Creative Africa Advisor Group, has provided to the creative sector of our continent. Your support has been very immense and is highly appreciated. We've gathered here to review and celebrate achievements of the African creative sector since we last met. In so doing, I'm sure we'll also recommit to do more and better to advance the progress of the African creative industry. In this atmosphere of celebration, reflection, and dedication, I'm sure we all agree that the African creative sector is growing at a remarkable pace. We're also aware that it is contributing significantly to the inclusive growth and sustainable development of our economies. The African Union has played a vital role in the process of supporting the development and promotion of cultural and creative industries across our continent. This is now seen in the implementation of the agreement and protocols of the African Continental Free Trade Area, or AFCFTA. This emerging market, the theme of the 2023 edition of the Intra-African Trade Fair, is also opening up opportunities for intra-African trade in cultural and creative products and services. As African Union, we are also committed to ensuring that we increase access to international markets of the products of our creative industries as part of our export development and diversification program. As part of the process of implementing the agreement established with the African Continental Free Trade Area and its protocols, we have this year reviewed the African Union Plan of Action on Cultural and Creative Industries. The Plan of Action is a guide towards the development and strengthening of the African cultural and creative industries in order to leverage them in Africa's aspiration of inclusive growth and sustainable development. This year, we also signed a host agreement with the Republic of Kenya on the hosting of the Temporal Secretariat of the African Audiovisual and Cinema Commission, or AACC. The role of the AACC is to bring together African filmmakers, distributors, and consumers, and in the diaspora, to promote the development of the industry, ensure the ownership of the African narrative, as well as enhance the contribution of this important industry to our economies. This year, CANEX is providing our creative people a range of financing and non-financing instruments and interventions aimed at supporting trade and investment in Africa's creative sector. We believe the sessions will advance progress in the growth and development of the culture and creative industries of our continent. CANEX is among the links between Africa and the diaspora. I'm glad we also have sisters and brothers from the African diaspora participating in this event. Let me now make a few points before concluding. First, I reaffirm my belief that the African creative industry has huge potential to be a source of decent employment and revenues as we strive to create the Africa we want. In terms of revenues, the significant ones beyond personal income are tax revenues, revenues from intra-African trade, as well as revenues from Africa's exports to the rest of the world, and hence the theme that is before us. The task ahead for each and every one of us in this event is to transform that huge potential into concrete programs and projects which will generate those jobs and revenues and make the African creative industry a major part of the African economy. Second, there's equally huge scope for us to invest in all aspects of intellectual property rights protection. The investments will ensure that we sustainably get value for money from our creative endeavors at both individual and community levels. Much too often, Africa has been a victim of theft of her intellectual property rights. Third, a growing and vibrant creative industry can be a major source of growth for sectors like tourism, transport, food and agriculture, as well as apparel and textiles, among others. Let us exploit those complementarities. Fourth, the African creative industry will flourish like the rest of intra-African trade in an environment of free movement of people, right of residence, and right of establishment. In this connection, I salute all our member states which are facilitating visa-free travel of Africans to their jurisdictions. In the same spirit, I call on all those African Union member states that have not yet done so to sign and ratify the protocol to the treaty establishing the African Economic Community relating to free movement of people, right of residence, and right of establishment. Doing so would be a removal of a major non-tariff barriers. Fifth, but not the least, is to record my expectation that this event will be a major contributor to the projected for $3 billion in trade and investment deals expected to be transacted during this edition of the Intra-African Trade Fair. In so, I'm saying so because our creative artists must not only be seen to be thriving by being popular among the consumers of their products. As much as we like to see this as a mark of achievement, we should also like to see our creative artists thrive financially at the personal level as a result of their creative efforts, and in the process, broaden and deepen the wealth base of Africa. I'll end here, and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Ambassador Albert Muchanga. To give her opening statement, please welcome Executive Vice President of Afrexim Bank, Mrs. Kanayo Awani.
Let me stand on already established protocols, but also permit me to acknowledge the presence of His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo, former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Chairman of the IATF Advisory Council. His Excellency Professor Benedict Orama, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of the African Export-Import Bank. His Excellency Ambassador Albert Muchanga, Commissioner for Economic Development, Trade, Tourism, Industry, and Minerals of the African Union Commission, Advisory Council members of the Intra-African Trade Fair 2023, Advisory Council members of the Creative Africa Nexus. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today with great excitement and anticipation as we gather here to celebrate the opening of the Creative Africa Nexus Summit under the theme, One People, United in Culture, Creating for the World. This momentous occasion marks another chapter in the journey of African creativity, innovation, and collaboration. Before I delve into my statement, let me use the opportunity to express on behalf of the board and management of Afrexim Bank a gratitude and sincere appreciation to our host, His Excellency President Sisi, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, his cabinet, and the wonderful people of Egypt who are not just hosting us today, but are hosts to the bank. Thank you for the unwavering support that has been extended to Afrexim Bank and our partners as conveners of this trade fair. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that Africa is a continent without any doubt that is brimming with artistic brilliance, vibrant cultures, and untold stories. From the shimmering Saharan sunsets to the rhythmic beats of vibrant cities, there is a rich tapestry of inspiration waiting to be weaved into masterpieces that will captivate the world. As we're gathered in Almanara in these coming days, we have an opportunity to harness this creative potential and showcase the immense talent that lies within our extended borders as global Africa. Africa and its diaspora is on the rise in all facets of the creative and cultural industries, including film and audiovisual, music, arts and crafts, sports, fashion, and even culinary arts. UNESCO estimates that globally, cultural and creative industries generate around $2.25 trillion annually and employ 30 million people worldwide. Even though Africa represents only 1% of this output. Over the past 5 to 10 years, we have witnessed green shoots of growth indicative of Africa's rise in the global creative ecosystem. Allow me to provide a few examples. According to UNESCO, the film and audiovisual industries in Africa account for $5 billion of the GDP, employing an estimated 5 million people, and have the potential to create over 20 million jobs and generate $20 billion in revenues annually. UNESCO's recent report on fashion, entitled The Fashion Sector in Africa, Trends, Challenges, and Opportunities for Growth, which will be relaunched during our summit here, shows the new opportunities for the international development of African brands on the back of the growth in the e-commerce, with annual textile, clothing, and footwear exports amounting to $15.5 billion. That report also notes that Africa holds 32 fashion weeks every year, pointing to the brimming talent in the fields of haute couture, crafts, and clothing, with a 42% increase in demand of African high fashion expected over the next 10 years. In music, top business analysts from Billboard Pro to Bloomberg agree on one point. The future of global music is African. dominance of summer hits by Afro beats and Amapiano artists, global media houses, signing up African artists at a record pace, viral TikTok trends with African music point to a door of great global opportunity that has opened up for us Africans and African music. Our artists like Burna Boy, Davido, Black Coffee, Diamond, Plumuz, Thames, and so many others fill up stadiums and entertainment arenas around the world. According to Statista, 223 reports music streaming revenues in 2022 reached $17.5 billion worldwide, the highest ever recorded and more than 6 times the figure of 2015, which was $2.7 billion. Music streaming revenues now account for over 67% of total global recorded music revenue. Data6 predicts that Africa's annual music streaming revenues will grow from $92.2 billion in 2021 to over $300 million by 2026. There are so many other examples of Africa and its diaspora beginning to take their rightful place in the global creative and cultural industry value chain. But we are fully aware that our work is cut out for us. If we, as a collective industry, will harness and sustain the growth trajectory. There are several challenges that are facing the sector that we need to surmount. Some of these include limited access to financing, where many creative entrepreneurs and cultural institutions struggle to secure financial support for their projects and ventures. Another is copyright infringement due to weak copyright laws, enforcement mechanisms, and lack of awareness. Intellectual property issues in the creative economy is colossal. Infrastructure and technology gaps. Gaps in physical and digital connectivity, limited access to reliable electricity and internet connectivity, and infrastructure for content distribution and monetization hinder creatives' ability to monetize their work. There's also the lack of capacity and shortage of skilled professionals. Various aspects of the creative sector, including management, marketing, technical production, and entrepreneurship, the limited access to quality education, training programs, and mentorship opportunities inhibit the full potential of the creative workforce in Africa and the diaspora. There's also limited market access, limited exposure to global markets, whereby African creative and cultural products often struggle to gain exposure and access to international markets. Addressing these key issues and challenges require a multifaceted approach involving government support, private sector investment, international and financial institutions, and other international collaborations. Efforts should be focused on improving access to finance, strengthening intellectual property rights, investments in infrastructure and technology, education and capacity building, trade and investments, and developing robust platforms for content distribution and monetization. If we overcome these challenges, Africa's creative and cultural industries can unlock their full potential, contribute to economic growth, create employment opportunities, preserve cultural heritage, and shape a vibrant and diverse creative landscape. As we have seen it helps us also in nation building. It helps the image of our continent, of our countries. See how far our music and film have traveled. This brings me to the Afro-Eximbank story. Our journey in supporting the creative economy, we have carefully crafted what we call a Creative Africa Nexus strategy to address these challenges head on. And it is built in our DNA, our nature, to look it's not in our DNA, or it's not in our nature, to look the other way on any developmental matter concerning Africa and its diaspora. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, CANEX serves as a catalyst for the African creative industry It's a platform that nurtures, supports, and amplifies the voices of talented individuals across various artistic disciplines. It is a space where ideas flourish, where connections are forged, and where dreams find their wings. This program was born out of a collective desire to unlock the true potential of African creativity. It is a testament to our commitment to nurturing a thriving creative ecosystem that empowers artists, promotes cultural exchange, and contributes to the socioeconomic development of our communities. The Creative Africa Nexus program is not just about showcasing Africa's talent, as we saw earlier today. It is also about shaping narratives, challenging stereotypes, and transforming lives through the power of creativity. CANEX amplifies the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD's definition of a creative economy, and that indeed rights and interplay between human creativity, intellectual property, and technology. This summit is a hub for collaboration, where creatives from diverse backgrounds can come together and create something that is truly unique. It serves as a platform for showcasing African talent to the whole world, bridging the gap between local and international audiences, and fostering a sense of pride and celebration of Africa. Through CANEX, we also prioritize the development of skills, providing artists with the resources and training they need to thrive in a rapidly changing and competitive industry. We promote entrepreneurship, encouraging artists to embrace their creative ventures and turn their passion into sustainable careers. We invest in innovation, exploring new avenues for artistic expression, and embracing digital technologies to amplify our creative voices. We also provide financing. We provide debt, and we provide equity. We also provide project preparation, and our debt is provided through our Fund for Export Development in Africa. Our equity is provided through our Fund for Export Development in Africa, which is our FEDA, which is our Impact Investment Fund. We know that ensuring access to affordable and sufficient financing is key to transforming the sector and boosting the competitiveness of the Africa's creatives. Allow me to cite a few examples, or a few initiatives that we are pursuing to address some of these challenges directly. Remember, for those of you who were at CANEX weekend in Côte d'Ivoire in 2022, the bank increased the financing available to the creative sector for $500 million to $1 billion. We currently have a pipeline of over $600 million in film, music, visual arts, fashion, and sports deals. We rent tickets ranging from as small as $2.2 million to transactions of over $150 million. I'd like to highlight that though, that it is concentrated in sports and film financing. In fact, the very first film, it was showed on in the video earlier, we financed, premiered at the Toronto Film Festival this year, and we have a pipeline of deals from Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya and elsewhere, which will be on streaming platforms in 2024. The bank has also launched a competition to celebrate Pan-African short films called CANEX Shorts at IATF 2023. In this program, over 100 short films from Africa and diaspora film producers have been received following an open call-out for short films. A jury has shortlisted the films, with the selected films being screened in Hall 9 tomorrow, November 10, and the top 4 films across various categories will receive awards. And we also support various incubators and accelerators, like the Script to Screen Accelerator Program, which we do in partnership with the Africa International Film Festival. Furthermore, the bank is also working on the establishment of a $1 billion Africa Film Fund to be launched in 2024. The fund will oversee film financing, co-finance with large studios, finance African filmmakers, finance producers, and directors of projects as well. In support of the development of the music sector, The bank inaugurated the Canex Music Factory in 2022 in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, enabling the creation of 32 songs with a 12-track album that will be commercially released on iTunes and Spotify on 14 November during this IATF program. I can only urge you all to stay tuned. The Music Factory promotes collaboration and music co-creation between artists across the continent and includes the exchange of music industry knowledge and ideas. It follows from a successful partnership with Grammy Award winner Vincent Berry II on the Cookout Masterclasses, whereby over 300 songwriters from across the continent were trained in songwriting and the business of music. You're invited to join the African music legend Toskido and multiple Grammy Award-winning producer Vincent Berry in Hall 9 to be part of this immersive experience this year. We're also facilitating music collaboration among Africans in the different regions of the world, working with notable artists and bands, such as the iconic Afro-Brazilian musical band Olodum. We have worked with the likes of Michael Jackson. Currently, we're on a project to foster collaboration between Olodum and several musicians from across Africa and the Caribbean. We at Al-Afrexim Bank are glad to be contributing to making African creative content go mainstream. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in 2021, we became intentional in our approach to developing the fashion ecosystem in Africa. The Kenes Presents Africa at Portugal, and Kenes Presents Africa at Chanoi Paris Fashion Week showcases provide a platform for African luxury brands to access new markets, to boost sales, production, and distribution. The program has equipped participants with skills to create financially sustainable businesses with the potential to scale, as well as provide support with go-to-market and internationalization strategies through mentorship from industry's experts. Since the inaugural edition in October 2021, almost 100 African designers representing 27 countries in Africa and the Caribbean have taken part in the program. This program has enabled African brands to be relaunched by international luxury retailers in Japan, UAE, France, and the US, to name but a few, with some of their luxury products being used by the wardrobe departments of large film productions, such as the popular Netflix series Emily in Paris. We've also partnered with Armando Cabral to set up a pop-up store in the heart of Manhattan in New York, in the iconic Rockefeller Center, whereby African fashion designers can begin to penetrate their US fashion market, the largest in the world. In partnership with design studio Azafami and Trace Academia, we are delivering a 10-module jewelry making course, which is available on Trace Academia mobile application and has benefited over 3,000 aspiring jewelry makers. Madam Azafami, who is a veteran in the luxury jewelry industry, will present a masterclass during this KNX at ITF on evolution, highlighting her journey in the jewelry business and the strategies for the business longevity of Azafami brand. For the KNX at IATF 2020 edition, KNX Africa introduces the KNX Luxury Fashion Exchange, a platform for a carefully curated selection of qualified African designers to showcase to buyers from Africa and the rest of the world. The KNX Luxury Fashion Exchange will play host to fashion buyers from Egypt, South Africa, United Arab Emirates and Italy, France, Germany, Canada, and Spain. Going a step further, KNX has also invited export-ready clothing and accessories manufacturers from the continent and the executives of the Canex D room to support and facilitate, where necessary, the financing and manufacture of orders made at the Canex Luxury Fashion Exchange. Furthermore, on fashion, to formalize and consolidate the fragmented nature of fashion enterprises, the bank has partnered with the International Trade Center to establish the Pan-African Fashion Alliance. This is a cooperative through which the bank and any other FI can deliver financing and other forms of intervention. It is envisaged that this cooperative approach will organize African creatives in fashion into segmented clusters, which may be linked together to form export value chains. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today, in partnership with Narrative Landscape Press and the Frank and Grace Adichie Foundation, we will witness today the launch of the Canex Book Factory. This is an initiative to enable the African literary culture and support the development of a sustainable business ecosystem around this industry. Afrexim Bank partners warmly welcome the literary icon, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who is attending the Canex Summit to launch this intervention later today. Again, I'll ask you to stay tuned. I'm glad to report that we have also introduced a groundbreaking addition to the Canex program this year by expanding into gastronomy and culinary arts. This comprehensive initiative aims to promote and enhance Africa's rich culinary heritage by highlighting, promoting, and financing food service organizations. The Canex Gastronomy Program showcases diverse African cuisines, supports local chefs and food service entrepreneurs, facilitates African culinary education, and promotes continental agro-production for global exports, including our traditional and cultural heritage. We have used the launch of this program here in the summit as an opportunity to bring 10 top chefs from across Africa and the diaspora. Thank you. Gastronomy greats like Chef Coco Renaz from Burundi, Chef Stone from Nigeria, Chef Natasha Debock from Trinidad and Tobago, Chef Davisha Burros from Barbados, Chef Anna Trapido from South Africa, Chef Mick Elisi from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Chef Abegan from Cameroon, and a number of others who will join. Three of these chefs, Chef Moyoshore Odumfa, representing Nigeria, Chef George Dediha, representing Ghana, Chef Tamsin Indir, representing Senegal, will be competing. They'll be competing in the Canex Jollof Rice Wars. I, for one, will not make this epic face-off that continues the conversation on the evolution of jollof rice, the ingredients that make it special to the countries that have valiantly competed for the bragging rights of the jollof rice recipe. And it once again provides Africa with the opportunity to showcase one of its best-known dishes to the world. I'm sure there are no guesses as to who I'll be cheering for, but I look forward to meeting you at the Food Village on 14 November for this session. Sports is one of our key areas of intervention, where we are partnering with organizations such as the Confederation of African Football, as well as Basketball Africa League, to promote sports and implement capacity building programs to support the development of the sports value chain on the continent and to create jobs. Finally, but not the least, Afrexim Bank understands the importance of empowering the artisan to monetize their work. Therefore, the bank, through FEDA, will launch in 2024 Canex Creations Incorporated to acquire, aggregate, and commercialize creative content and host intellectual property for Africans safely. The company will be making critical strategic investments across the creative value chain, such as record labels, publishing companies, and film studios, to commercialize the intellectual property of Africans and diaspora creatives. As we embark on this incredible journey, I urge all of you to embrace the transformative power of creativity. We welcome South African Bank cooperation. We welcome partnerships that will help us build bridges of trade through art that transcends borders. Together, let us make Africa's creative heartbeat louder. Let us rewrite the narrative, and let us unleash the power of African creativity onto the world stage. Join us to fuel Africa's structural transformation and socio-economic progress. As I close, let me appreciate our partners. These ones are special, who have supported this CANEX program. UNESCO, the International Trade Center, the British Council, Egypt Fashion and Design Council, and Design Studio Azafami, who have come around to support us overwhelmingly in delivering what will be the most comprehensive program ever seen, the most comprehensive program on creatives on this continent. It will hold at CANEX at IATF 2023. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on that note, let me welcome you all to CANEX Summit at IATF 2023. Thank you very much. Bless you all.
Thank you, Mrs. Kanayo Awani, Executive Vice President of Afrexim Bank. الفقرة القادمة حيكون معانا فنان ارتبط اسمه بالنجاح محلياً وعالمياً. فنه قدر إنه يتخطى حدود وطنه. Everyone loves this Egyptian artist. I personally love the songs very much. I listen to his songs all the time, and he's loved by older and younger generations. رحبوا معايا بالفنان المصري محمود العسيلي. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up to the Egyptian artist Mahmoud El-Aiseri.
جرب حاول عاني هيقطموك وتملي يفشلوك ويبكدوك ويزهقوك وما تزعلش ده عادي كله كلام على